What's up? What's up, Blue Chips? How we doing tonight? I couldn't get it down. I did a little too big of a whippet there. So I've been starting off every video that I do pretty much kind of going through this. Only put your name behind things that you believe in. That's this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. It's a good one. I like it. Most likely going to do a video on Monday. Not exactly sure what I'm going to put out, but I'm going to put something out. So as you guys can see today, we ended up making $3 on the real account. We tried trading SNCA in the afternoon, but I'm assuming this thing I never actually checked, but I'm assuming this thing was an offering. But as you guys can see, we didn't really play it that bad. We were green on this several times, but we were obviously looking for a move a little bit higher. We actually had our order set to 189. We got as high as 180, and it just chopped around. So right at the bell, we just jumped out of it, obviously not looking to. What I'm wondering if the offering price was around this area. So it just it literally just went sideways. You got the little bit of a, everyone that shorted, eventually they're going to cover. So that's kind of what this was, but it never really went that much further as the offering price, I'm assuming, was in this area. So welcome, Tim here from Volatility Trading. Obviously a little bit of a dud so far. Usually we have a couple more people in here when we first start. That's why I've been thinking about scooting this back until around 10 Eastern, because I feel like a lot of the West Coast guys and gals are, it's still only 6:30 there, so they're not really looking to get on here and waste some time. I've actually noticed that I get the most people jumping on the view usually around like 11, 12 o'clock Eastern. So I'm not planning on ever starting it that late because that's usually when I'm trying to end it. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know about you, but whippets never get old. So I feel like the first thing I want to kind of do, I guess, is just go over the week. Let's pull up our TraderSync here. And let's get rid of this guy. So let's see. Can we just do date last 7 days? That should work, right? 12 tonight. There we go. All right. So this past week, we're up $100. So can't really complain there, considering that we, started really slow at the beginning of the week. Because if you remember, we started kind of messing with the tweaks of our new strategy. So I can't really complain about this. A lot of it was one trade here on MNK. Let's take a look at the MNK chart here real quick. So if you remember, we actually traded this 3 times. They were our only 3 trades that we had here on Sean, Sam's Club. They have 3 packs for, I'll say it's like ridiculously cheap. I'll say it's like $5 or something silly like that. Yeah, nice one. Sorry. Getting a little out of control already. People are going to be coming in right now and they're going to be like, what is going on? What am I watching right now? So we have MNK was our biggest winner. We played this thing short 3 times. We were reading it really well. And that was that. Let's go back here. But we ended up with a 83% win-loss ratio. We took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 trades. So that's a little over 2 a day. And I have been feeling more comfortable in all these trades. Just I'm excited to move forward, and I feel like this is gonna be it. And if you notice, look at this: long, short, short, long, long, short, short, long, short, long, long, short, one. And that's the other thing too. I wonder if I can, let me see some. I know that you can do it. Settings. Might be in trade settings. Yeah, here we go. Create a new trade whenever your position is flat for a specific instrument. You'll lose your existing notes, setups, mistakes, and pictures. Ugh. I'm going to lose all my pictures. I'm not sure I want to do that. You know what? That's okay. I understand. Wonder if this is going to do it. I would assume that's going to do it for everything. For all of the tickers. Thank you, David. It's almost like you might be familiar with this or something. Don't judge me, but it's caffeine free at least. I don't know. It was calling my name, so here we are. I was going to make one of my see-through drinks, but as you can see, I don't have the green screen behind me anyway. For some reason, my new chair, the bottom of it, it gives me like no room, and it really starts to cramp me a little bit. So I decided to kind of get away from that. Okay, so this worked really well. So we actually had, I need somewhere up here to tell me, I want another one of these boxes where it can tell me the number of trades. Is there one of those? Setup, hourly, mistake, monthly, management. Okay, so no. Oh, it says it right here. I'm an idiot. So 14 trades this week. So pretty awesome. Not going to lie. I usually don't take that many trades, or I haven't in the past. I'd be lucky to get like 7. Like half of that. So I'm pretty happy. You going to sit on a toilet for a long time if you finish all that can. Is that tracking thing free? Boits, if you would have entered the giveaway, which I'm not sure if you did or not. I don't remember. You could have won this free for a year. But no, you actually can sign up for free. I don't want to lie. The only thing is you just don't get some of the cool features. So let's go over here. So with the free, you do get, they have an app. You get the dashboard, trades journal, setup tracking, and mistakes tracking. So I guess what would be the point of having this if you can't import your trades? I'm a little confused there. So I'm not sure. Maybe you could, I don't know if you can, I don't think you can manually input trades. Not quite sure. But we just gave away 3 of these pro accounts for an entire year. So that was quite a hefty giveaway. $360 to 3 different people. It was pretty exciting. Yeah. So that's a little unfortunate. I'm actually curious, Zishan, do you have a free account? Can you input any of your trades at least? Like, do you just have to do it manually? Might have to ask the owner what that's about. Like, what would be the point of having the free one if you can't at least just input your trades? So I have, if you are going to sign up, Boits, for whatever reason, I have a link down in the description. Honestly, I haven't really looked at this. Is still, TraderSync is still new to me. I'm still adjusting to it. Hence, you see me kind of looking for features and stuff like that. But I don't even know if I don't think my link actually gives you a discount. I think he said he was like working. I think he said he was working on that. I know that you can try. I know you can try it free for 7 days, so you could just do that to see if you like it. And I'm pretty sure you get the full experience, but I don't know. So yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't appear that my link gives you a discount. Like I said, I just talked to him, and I'm still getting used to it myself. So I'll have to have another chat with him and see if I can get you guys a discount if you guys are interested. It is really, really cool. You can literally, like, I have just this weekend, I can, I have all of my trades in here. This is actually for the lifetime of me trading, because I have everything imported. So I could go all the way back to my very first day of August 21st of 2018, and you can see my awesome first day that I had. It was not a good day. And then Nua, thankfully, overnight saved me. And then 2 days later, Uxin, kind of low float Haven. I kind of got lucky with that one. I mean, look at how many shares entry price. I got short 670, 661, 9 cents. Imagine how many shares I took. I'll show you. We shorted, let's see, 555. So we're in 2,500 shares. Absolutely nuts. Brand new to trading. I had maybe watched YouTube for like a month. What an idiot I was. It doesn't let you log in. What do you mean? Oh, did your free trial run out? 5K overall? Ouch. Tuition, baby. That's what I like to call it at this point right now. Because if you want to take a look, I'm actually, after commissions, I'm not doing that hot myself. As you can see, net return, negative $2,745. So with commissions, that's where I'm sitting. I also do not have scanners and broker fees are not included in this. This is just trading and the trading commissions. So a little scary there, huh? What is this? Yeesh. I feel like something... No, this is right. Oh, crap. You know what? I think it might have messed it up because it split. Something's not right. I think it split when I split the trades. Something messed up. Let's try this because I was just looking at it. Let's go back to from when I started the new strategy and actually really hammered down. And see what this says. Okay, so it's right. But why was the chart all funky looking? Okay, so this looks right. So it must have split up the. No, I am not starting with 25. I started with 5,000, not 25,000. I wish I had 25,000. That would be nice. I would feel a lot more comfortable. I'd feel like I have a little bit more of a cushion. That would be nice. By the way, someone did sub while I was getting ready to live stream. It was like 10 minutes before I hit the button, and thank you, Lorification, subbed. And I was like, no, why couldn't you wait like 10 minutes? I am not using a Mac. I do not like Apple products. I'm not saying I hate Apple products and that they suck. I personally do not really use them. I still wanted to we weren't really done talking about the last week. Let's see. Oops. Date. Last 7 days. 12. There we go. And if so, did you have to buy a Windows program to run it? No. What I linked you to earlier, Armando, did that not work? Because that was straight from the DOS That was right from their website, I believe. Oh, that says DOS. Oops. DOS Trader. Yeah, here it is. Oh, okay. I see now. So these cost money. So I honestly don't know what to... I don't know what to tell you. I know there's other ways to do it, but I guess this is the most... I know Boot Camp is the main one. I feel like I've heard that name used a lot. Gotcha. Yeah, I feel like... I don't take my word for this. Do your due diligence, but I believe Boot Camp is the main one that I hear a lot of Apple users use. Dave actually might be able to comment and chime in on this because I know he's an Apple Mac user. I don't know if that would be... I don't know if he uses something where he needs to use a program to run Windows stuff, but maybe. Not sure. Dave Bueller. So you're using an Android? I use Windows. But yes, I have an Android phone, Google Pixel 2. I used the Apple iPhone one time. I bought one, and I just didn't like it. I actually bought it because pretty much my whole family uses iPhones, and I just thought it'd be easier because, you know, FaceTime, you know, all that good stuff. And I just didn't like it. So anyways, back to this past week. So we were 85% win rate. We ended up having... We actually had one loser after commissions. I believe that was... Let's go back to... Let's sort this the right way. Let's say I believe that was... when was that? That was on Tuesday. And it's funny because we kept taking 3 trades pretty much. Well, the first day we only took 2. And then it was 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I wasn't doing that on purpose. It was just, I don't know. Maybe that was kind of my comfort zone as far as like finding the trades and whatnot. But I did by the end of the week feel so much more comfortable just pulling stuff off the scanners. So I was pretty happy about that. Oh, there you go. So Boot Camp is Apple's built-in solution for booting Windows on Mac. There we go. All right, so that was kind of, I guess, just kind of going over the week. Showed you guys we made $103. Pretty happy about that. For anything green, especially when trying a new strategy, I'm pretty excited. If you guys have any questions throughout the entirety of the live stream, please feel free to ask. As you can see, Ramondo has done. If you also want a whippet, just let me know. I got you. I'm actually going to probably have to put that away soon. It's going to get warm. Actually, let me go do that real quick. Alrighty, jacket's off as well. So let's talk some strategy, shall we? Let's do that. Let's go through our charts here. Let's start. The first day was we were just kind of iffy. I actually don't even think I posted charts that day. Yeah. Oh, I forgot. I just lost on my charts anyway. Maybe well, crappers. That's okay. Let's go back and look at the we'll just go back and look at our trades from today. Let me switch to something a little bit easier to look at. So we had UNFI was our first trade, and we got a little bit faked out here, and the whole purpose of this strat is to not get faked out. So I was a little bit mad at myself for this one, but here was my thought process on this. We had a single entry. It was pretty much at low of day. And when we got this big move down, it just did not want to give us a bounce. And if you notice, the first bounce was, it got back through 850. We were looking for 862. That's where we had our order. So let's actually, we'll draw a couple lines here. So 862, you can see our entry here. Didn't quite get there. And it just tried 2 more times to get through 50 and couldn't. And then it failed. So as this was failing, I said, if we break low a day, the odds are it's going to continue, right? The odds are, because it tried 850 3 times, got through the first time, rejected both other times, and look at the topping tails. Look at where this candle finished. It finished all the way down at the bottom of the candle. It was engulfed. So I wasn't too thrilled thinking that we were going to get a better bounce than 850. So if we went low a day, I just said, hey, we'll just take the paper cut. Now, if we had entered this thing, say, up here, and we added, it might have been a different story. We might have been looking to just add as it went down, looking for the eventual move back up towards VWAP and possibly through. So that wasn't the case. I decided just in the moment to just take the paper cut because it really kind of consolidated here for a longer period of time, even started to form what looked like a descending triangle. Just every sign pointed to this going lower. And of course it did go lower. And then it obviously was a little bit of a fake out and it climbed back up and then pretty much kind of consolidated the rest of the day. So I was a little disappointed in this trade just because I didn't really stick out the plan per se. But, you know, taking a paper cut loss and just getting out of the trade is not a bad thing, especially when the odds aren't really in your favor for it to continue in the way that you're looking for it to continue. So then we moved on to CRC, and this was just a big move down. If we scroll and see how much further we can scroll out here. So we saw that it had the move up, and then we saw that we had the previous 2 days kind of consolidation in this area, and we were looking for this key area here to kind of act as support. So what happened is when we got this drop all the way from here, I noticed it and when it was in this area, but I said I really wanted it down through 850 because I knew I wanted it closer to the support level from the other day. And we got the 850 break, and we took our first stab at it right here at 845, just assuming, hey, it might be a fake break through 850, and we might get that climb back up. But it said, hey, it did jump back up to 850, but then came right back down and shot down, extending us even more. And it got down to 834. We got our ad at 837, and it pretty much popped right back up. As you can see, the candle actually closed all the way up here at 845. And I told myself, I was like, okay, we got a really good ad there. The odds are it's going to at least test 50. Let's just front run 50 and be happy with the trade. Even though I most likely, you're looking for, I would have been naturally looking for something around here just because this previous attempt at support. So I would be looking for that to be used as resistance, which as you can see, it did. But I was just being a little impatient because we kind of got caught where a $0.50 is. And there was a big fight here. As you can see, it tried to go through right when we got filled, got to 51, came back down, went back through to 53, came back down. And it was a fight for about 4 minutes, and then, about 2 or 3 minutes. And then it finally said, okay, we're going to drop to 46. And then it shot through 50, and it eventually got all the way up here to around 861, and then eventually came back down. So we don't know if this could have just easily have kept on going down. We don't know, right? I was just taking the quick base hit and moving on. So I was quite happy with that trade, and that was that. And so I think it was for pretty much the rest of the day. We were kind of just sitting around, and then out of nowhere, this TWOU popped up right at. See, now I didn't even notice this. Constantine, what's up, man? Make sure when you download Windows on Boot Camp, back up all your stuff on your Mac in case it fails. I learned the hard way. Yeah, always back up your stuff. I actually have 2 externals with all my stuff backed up. I used to do monthly backups, but I think I've only been doing them. I do them manually, so I've only been doing them like every 3 months. So anyways, I didn't see that TWOU halted earlier. I didn't notice that. So that kind of might have made a difference in my exit here. But I don't think it would have. The idea, especially when you first get in the trade, is if it wants to go up and halt, the odds are it's going to continue, right? Anytime a stock halts in one direction, the odds are they have to, I don't know this 100%, but they have to be in the favor of continuing to the direction it halted. And it's something I had mentioned earlier. I would love to see the stats on halts. I would just love to see the stats on halts and where they open. I wonder what the percentage is versus stocks opening in the opposite direction versus continuing in the direction that they halted. And I can almost guarantee you that, I can't say with certain, obviously, but I feel that the majority of the time, if you halt going one direction, it's going to continue in that direction. The whole point of it halting is because there was such force going in that direction. The odds are it's going to continue when it comes out of the halt. But obviously that doesn't always happen because that's not what happened here. But we had entered here at 24.36. This thing jumped all the way up here to 24.90 and halted. And take a look at the price I got. 24.91 was my cover price. So yeah, I ended up paying a penny more than what the actual high of day was. So I'm pretty positive that has to do with the fact that CMEG is using the level 2. And if you go back and watch the video, you'll see that going into the halt, the ask turns to 24.91. And so when I hit the button, I'm assuming that that's just what they took because it's what was on the ask. But if you were sending orders directly to the market, I should have gotten 24.90. But I started with 20 shares here, looking for about half the move down to get our $10 at least that we look for with our starter shares. So this really wasn't that bad of a hit. It was a $11 loss on 20 shares. So what's a penny on 20 shares? 20 cents. So I'm really not gonna fret too much about it. I'm not gonna go waste everybody's time looking for 20 cents. 24.64 was my entry. So when it halted, I was down a bit. Well, yeah, but you were near the top. A little bit easier, I guess, if you're a lot closer to the top. I mean, if when this halted, I was then just looking to get short, that would be different. But even then, I would never short into a halt, right? I would want to wait for it to come out of the halt and then possibly short it. So again, unfortunately, this looks really bad, but it happens. I also wish one thing that DOS did that a lot of other brokers do is when there is a halt, I wish it would go sideways. So it's like even on like the 1 minute chart, there should be like 5 little ticks going sideways for 5 minutes instead of just jumping from 10:04 to 10:09. Like I really wish that they did that, but unfortunately they don't. I feel like it would have helped me realize that, hey, this thing was already halted, and it might have made me avoid this thing altogether, especially because I knew it was news driven. This volume just came out of nowhere, and the move that it was making was just substantial. So I really should have stayed away from it anyway because I don't like playing news-driven type things. So that was kind of mistake number one. But the fact that I got out of it when it did halt like this, I'm pretty proud of myself. So I can't really complain. I'll move forward from there. So that's really. Let's go. What was that other one? SNCA. So SNCA will actually give us a little bit of a taste of what our strategy is actually entailing, because this is actually the first time I've added more than once. So I had 3 total entries here. And it was pretty nice because I got to use the hot button that I made to give me the take profit area that I'm looking for. And this is what the strategy really does entail. You can kind of just add, because like we started here with 50 shares, added 50 and another 50. I don't think we were ever down more than like 20 some bucks. So our max loss is 150 bucks on the day. That's a daily max loss. So it could be 1 trade, it could be between 3 trades, it could be, whatever, right? But once we hit $150 being down on the day, that's it. Cut it, right? So we can never, the idea is to never lose more than that in any single given day. So if we can continue to trade, hopefully like 4, 5, 6 times a day, where we're stacking up $10, $20, $30, $40 winners, and sometimes even more than that, the idea is that we're never going to be risking more than we're making. So when it comes down to a certain point, if we're, somewhere around $25, that's kind of what we're looking to make back, right? So, or at least somewhere around that. You kind of gauge what you want to make based off of key areas on the chart. Like SNCA, when this first happened, I really thought, even if it was an offering, that we were going to still get a bounce of, some sort of technical bounce here, some kind of a short squeeze up over through 2 into this like 218 area. Just because I had saw this previous support, I was like, oh, well, at least get, because, a lot of times when you get big moves like this, you're looking for around 40 to 50% of the move for, as far as a retracement. And this thing literally, but again, this had to be an offering. It was late in the day and it just did not bounce like at all. So pretty crazy. Which also brings me to another point. I will not be trading past 12 o'clock noon Eastern anymore. Like I made that rule after this trade SNCA, because I went back and I looked in TraderSync and I am losing money. If you take all my trades after 12 o'clock, I am losing money. And obviously I'm winning money if I take a trade before 12 o'clock. So that is a new rule that I'm implementing right now. You guys are hearing it for the first time. 12 o'clock, I will be hard stopped. I'm hard stopping myself. That's it. Just if we're in a trade still, this is actually a good point. Say we took this trade. Say this was at the bell. This happened at the bell. And we took this trade, and right here, which was the end of the day, say this is 12 o'clock. What do? Well, we're going to test this theory, and we're going to backtrack it as we go. This is why keeping a journal is very important. You can do it by looking at the chart, but by having something like TraderSync or Stock Trader, if you guys want to go that route where you can manually input everything, you can go back and back test certain strategies by looking at the charts and looking at your prices. And now David has been so kind to kind of help me with this a little bit because his strategy is very similar. So we've been kind of talking back and forth about this. And it seems very beneficial to simply, wherever you're at 12 o'clock, instead of setting a range order, instead of still looking to let things run, instead of letting the strategy play itself out, if at 12 o'clock, I just cut my trade, good to go, right? You're not going to lose any more money. You're not going to make any more money. But right then and there, the trades did what it's going to do up until your cutoff point. Cut it off. Guess what? You're done for the day. You're cashed up. You can go do whatever else you got to do. You don't have to sit here, stare at your monitors until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You can go make use of your time in other places. Obviously, if that trade didn't want to work out by 12 o'clock, the odds of it really moving in either direction at that point just isn't that good. Unless obviously it's a stock that is just going absolutely bananas on the day like this, but obviously that's not the case. Actually, I was going to try to pull up an example. Let me see here. I might have an example for you. Give me one sec. We talk so much. How do we talk so much? Is this it? Okay, yeah. So it was actually UNFI. Oh, apparently. So UNFI, if say you started this a little bit early, you averaged down, and you just never got back up to the point where you wanted to take profit. Well, look at 12 o'clock. This thing just kind of consolidated, never really went low of day again, nothing. It just kind of consolidated in this little bit of a range. Well, at 12 o'clock, look what happened. It just decided to kind of continue down lower. And backtesting, looking at charts, you'll see some maybe just go sideways, some maybe go a little bit up, some maybe go like this and would have hit target, some go down and would have hit your max loss. So it seemed very 50-50 to the point where just cutting it at 12 and not having the stress and worrying about any more trades throughout the rest of the day is the way to go. So that is a rule. I'm implementing it, and we're going to see how it works out. Obviously, it's not, no rule should be permanent. I always say that you should set rules, test them just like a strategy. If they're working for you, keep them. If they're not, go back and adjust it. Figure out why that rule maybe wasn't the best fit for what you were trying to get accomplished. All right. That's a feature to clean up the look of the chart. TradingView does the same. What are you talking about? I must have been talking about something I don't remember. But yeah, harder to notice halts. It was 7.5 mil of warrants being sold. At what price, Mr. Nice? Welcome, by the way. I get an hour to trade, and that's it. There you go. That's perfect. Bell to 10:30. That's awesome. I agree, Tim. All the volatility is in the morning. More of a fight between buyers and sellers, aka normally good pullbacks. I totally agree. I've been noticing too, and Dave actually pointed this out. Is very, very well done pointing this out. But anytime you get something that's news driven, it tends to not cooperate as much, and it's hard to play those, because what if it was price target moved to $30, right? And we're sitting here at 20, or it was a sell, like they sold the company at $30, and this thing's just going to go right to 30 out of the halt. Like, you don't know that as it's happening. So that's why I really want to try to get away from these types of intraday moves as well, just in general. Because when you get the volume out of nowhere like this, yes, you are getting a really intense move, and a lot of times you are going to get a nice pullback. The stronger the move, the weaker the trend. But when it's news and you don't know what the news is, which this is why I just don't play news to begin with, because it doesn't really matter. Price action is what matters. But when you start dealing with halts and stuff like that, you start to wonder, okay, well, did this thing sell? Like, is this a company sale, and what was the price at? So when you get, and that actually happened to me not that long ago. I forget the name of it. LYV actually traded something like a buyout, but it wasn't. But there's times where there's a buyout, and if you're just shorting and shorting and shorting, even if you hit the top, that's the buyout price. Because then it just stops there, and you're pretty much stuck. So you might get a little bit of a dip at that point, just from people selling once it gets there, because obviously it's a buyout, so it's not going to go any higher. Oh, okay, David, I got you talking about the halts before. Yeah, it is a nice feature, and it is frustrating that DOS doesn't have that, where it doesn't show you the halts going sideways. I know a lot of brokers do it, or a lot of platforms do it. But yeah, it just is what it is with the intraday news. I'm going to attempt to stay away from that. I'm looking for more like UNFI. This is more organic, right? It's coming out of the, it's at the bell, makes a big move down. It's not news driven. Same with CGC, or what was it? CRC. Same thing. This had a big move to the downside, but it wasn't news driven. Like you can tell it's just kind of grinding down, coming down further and further. And you can just, like, these are the types of plays we're looking for. We're looking for just the overextended plays, based on normal trading. We're not really looking for those intraday moves on news because they can bite you in the ass. Price at market value. What was? TWOU? I heard it was just a rumor of a buyout. Yeah, Jeff, it was, if we're all still talking about TWOU, apparently there was a rumor of a buyout, so it went bananas. And then I guess people were like, oh, it's just a rumor. So it died. Yeah. Playing intraday news is like trying to play earnings and after hours. Hard to do. Yeah, it's very true. Because like I said, all it takes is for it to be a buyout and it's at $30. And if you're trying to size into this and it's just going straight up and you don't know that it's a buyout at $30, then you're effed, right? You're going to the cleaners. Because if you're somebody that's going to fight it, just saying, I'm just going to keep adding into this thing until it finally gives us a pullback. Well, guess what? If it's going to $30, you're not going to get a pullback. People are just going to wait for it to go to $30, and that's when they're going to start selling. So SNCA, yeah, this was the other one. I mean, obviously, this volume came out of nowhere. It was towards the end of the day, and it was a huge move, right? So we obviously knew that this was news-driven. And again, this was another reason that I told myself I'm not trading after 12 o'clock anymore. Because after 12 o'clock, too, the odds of you getting a big move on like a normal stock, like a normal trading stock, not a low floater, it's rare. So, and to be completely honest, looking at SNCA, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people were getting short in this area anyway, just because look at the overextension. And then this thing, I can only imagine if they were in this when this happened and just out of nowhere, they're like, can you imagine? Can you imagine being short, like somewhere, like say you started it here, you waited through, so you got to average like around 380 and this thing just dumps and halts at 317. That'd be awesome. Oh, you were saying SNC. I got you. Priced at market. How can they do that? So you're saying price at market. So they, okay. I feel like whoever was selling those warrants kind of got screwed then, if that was the case. Yeah, really good payday. So what do you guys got for questions? I feel like I kind of explained a little bit more of the strategy, how it's been working, kind of what we're planning to do with it, added a rule. Went through the week. So I kind of went through everything I was going to go through for the stream. We're about 45 minutes in here. Some people are starting to roll in. See if we can get some engagement. See what you guys want to talk about here for the rest of the night. Oh, I know. It's crazy. Definitely a huge move. I'm going to try to blow my nose real quick. Give me a sec. Anybody have any good plans for the weekend? I'm going to be very busy tomorrow. My son actually turns 2 on Monday, but we're having his birthday party tomorrow. We are hosting 50 of our dearest and closest family members, so that'll be fun. I have a very big family. Got my dad's parents were divorced. My mom's parents were divorced. Everyone's gotten remarried. My mom and dad are divorced. So the family just kept growing and growing. It's always fun to have birthday parties and get-togethers and stuff. Yes, 50. Yes. We're actually doing pizza. We're going to be ordering a bunch of pizzas. So they can deal with that. I saw, David, by the way, your change. I like it. I like it a lot. I'm actually going to see. Excuse me. I'm going to change that right now for anybody that still wants to comment. Man, I am not feeling well. My wife has the flu, actually. She's getting over the flu, I should say. And, yeah, so she's got one of them masks to wear for tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. Also wanted to just give you guys a big thank you as well. We're up to 1,312 subscribers. That's absolutely nuts. Like, what happened? Just before the new year, we were hoping to hit 1,000. Now we're already 31% of the way to 2,000. You guys are nuts. Thank you. Appreciate that. Just need you guys to start showing up more for the Friday night live stream and the morning live streams. I'm actually excited. I'm getting ready to, as you guys can tell, I'm trying to put a lot more energy into the channel as I learn new things. Actually, Dave, again, I owe a lot of credit to him. Dave used to be pretty awesome at video production himself, so he's been helping me along the way a little bit, so I appreciate that, Dave. Give you a high five, fist pump, kiss. You guys are going to have to help me out here. I have no caffeine. I didn't get a nap today. The last 3 days, I've been literally a single dad, pretty much. I've been dropping the kids off in the morning, coming home, trading, live streaming, making the video, taking care of my kid, not taking any naps because during his naps, my wife's been home sleeping. So I'm not going to go sleep in the bed with her while she has the flu. I've just been staying downstairs, cleaning, doing dishes, doing laundry, doing pretty much everything. I've went and got my oldest son from school, which she usually gets him on the way home from school. I've had to put them to bed on Wednesday. Thursday, I had to do the same thing all over again. And then I also had to take my oldest to swim class, come home, put him to bed. And then this morning, same thing. The only difference is my mom took my youngest this morning, which really helped. So it was pretty awesome that I got to kind of trade with some focus. And of course, it's funny because today was the first day that we had an actual like losing trade. So it was kind of funny. But yeah, that's actually, hold on, let me see. Yes, boy, it's if you scroll up a little, apparently it was warrants being sold at market. Mr. Nice was kind enough to provide that information. Streams are awesome. The only way for me to keep up to date this month since my DAS account expired. You said it starts up next week though, right, Constantine? I believe that's what you said. I'm excited for you to get it up and running so you can try to figure out a way around that hotkey. Which actually brings me to my next point, or not next point, but I actually have a question for you guys. What is something that you feel I could do to improve the channel, improve the streams in the mornings, improve these Friday night live streams? Any suggestions that you may have? I would obviously love to hear them. I always like to say that I'm here for you guys. So if there's any way that I can improve what I'm doing to help return the favor and the support that you guys are giving me, please let me know. I can't do it if you guys don't tell me. I'm doing the best that I can. So hopefully that's enough for most. But if there is something specific that you would like to see or hear, show, whatever it is, whatever it may be, just let me know. That's the only way that I can really make sure that I'm providing what you want, is for you to tell me. So don't be afraid to ask any kind of questions. Ask away. That's all we can do. Bring V back. Hey, I actually have asked him on several occasions. He said he's down, but that dude is busy. He's always busy. We've talked about it. We're gonna head down that road. We just have to slowly get there. I think it's a process. Me and V talk a lot. So it's more of just a matter of finding the time between the two of us. And I think something like that's going to happen. CMEG, you need to pay full fee for the month. It's better to start February 1st. Yes, correct. So yes, wait till February 1st. You can get everything done with them. Just let them know that you want to go live on the 1st. So that way you do not have to worry about it. I have a question. Are you gay? LOL, JK. Well, I'm trying to build my account, so, $5 is $5. That's all I'm going to say. So Dave actually asked, you guys know me. I always say this. When you ask questions, if I don't know the answer, I will go find it. So he asked, can someone explain warrants? I do not know exactly what warrants are. I know it involves, it's something to do with it's kind of the same thing through, or it's like the same thing as an offering. But it's, I believe it's something that they own beforehand, kind of thing. Let's see. See if I can find like a down and dirty version of it. So it says, I'll just pull this down. A stock warrant is a financial contract between a company and investors that gives the investor the option to purchase the company's stock at a specific price and by a specific date. A stock warrant allows the holder to receive newly issued stock from the same company that provided the warrant. While the warrant expires after a certain date, the investor is still allowed to make the stock warrant purchase via common stocks at a later date if he or she chooses. Warrants are often given to company bondholders as a sweetener for deep-pocketed investors or to valuable employees for a job well done. Structurally, stock warrants are used to attract buyers to a company's stock, potentially enabling the recipient to buy the stock down the road at the warrant's strike price, the agreed-upon price, at a price lower than the stock may be trading. So there you go. Or here it says, for an example, let's say ABC Corp gives the stock warrant holder a contract to purchase 100 shares of the company at $20 per share, which is the strike price. Over the next 10 years, if at any point in time during that 10-year period the recipient buys the stock at the strike price, even if it's trading above that price, that's a good deal for the stock warrant recipient, who earns an immediate profit on the stock purchase. So that's apparently exact. It makes complete sense. So say a huge company purchased, say, 1 million shares at, let's go back to the chart now, at $2, and the stock's up there at $4. They could just exercise those warrants and boom, there you go. So they were just waiting, like, let's look at the daily. They were just waiting for a day like this, right? So maybe back in here, they bought these warrants and they were just waiting and waiting and waiting, and then boom. So, or maybe they bought them somewhere up in here and they got screwed, and this was them just trying to get the most of their money back. Who knows? Interviews are fun in general. Could do more of those. Yeah, I actually want to do more interviews. It's just a matter of finding the quality of an interviewee that I've been looking for. That's kind of been the issue. I've been trying to. I have reached out to a bunch of more like proven traders that I know are legit, and obviously that's all I'm going to bring on my channel is people that I can prove to be legitimate. So that's kind of where I'm at now with the interview process. So I keep, that is going to be part of the future of this. So definitely stay tuned for more interviews. And I'm definitely working with V to get him back on here. I know that that was a big hit for everybody. Could I get feedback on my strategy to crush my enemies, see them driven before me, and to hear the limitations of their good strategy, I guess, Vincenzo. I can't think of any ways to improve that. I think you should just keep doing it. It sounds like it's working for you. Can you go over some famous chart names? I just learned cup and handle. Oh, you mean patterns. Okay. Like today, today, what? I'm so confused. I just learned cup and handle today. Like, what is that? Oh, you want to know what a cup and handle is? I mean, it'd be easier just to Google it, but I used to do this myself. Cup and handle pattern. So the idea is you form a cup. Let's see if it gives me a bigger picture. Yeah, so the idea is you form a cup and then you form the handle of the cup. Like that's what it is. I wonder, see if these guys have like a bunch of them. I know a very stock market patterns. I know a big one is, yeah, here we go. Is like the ABCD pattern. You got the head and shoulders. Let's see what you got. The flags, bull flags, bear flags. I hate that I can never just find a solid picture of these because it's hard for you guys to see. Let's see, save image, thumbnails. Let's see if we can just open it. There we go. So yeah, here's your cup and handle here as well. And then it got the continuation. Let's see if they got, and obviously everything can be inverted. These are all like the same, just inverted. Then you got like double bottoms. I just call it W. I mean, people read into these. I don't really look into them. The head and shoulder is where it's kind of like, you just have a shoulder, you make a higher, go high of day, come back down, and then you form a lower high again. So it's head and shoulders, which is a very bearish pattern because the odds are it's going to fail and go lower. I don't know. I just don't typically go after patterns anymore. But yeah, ABCD pattern is, let's see if we can. So kind of, well, not really. Basically, an ABCD pattern is, let me pull up this. So like, say we had a pattern, so it comes up A, B, C, D, and this is actually supposed to be higher than this, but so basically you're just getting the higher lows. That's pretty much what an ABCD pattern is. Oh, come on. But if you haven't, I mean, if you ever really want to know about the patterns, just YouTube them. People go over the patterns like all the time. So it's just really not something that I'm personally interested in anymore. I'll see them forming every once in a while, and I'll just take note to it, but I don't ever like play them. I don't play them as a strategy. Ask Siri. Yeah, you can do that too. I don't use it as a cup and handle. Seems like a good formation. It's crazy to me that warrants are allowed to happen during market hours. That should be an after hours thing. Yeah, it is kind of crappy. I'm not going to lie. I made it. I hope it's not late. What's up, Giovanni? No, you're not late. I feel like this is about when everybody starts to come in anyway. right around this 10:30 area. So maybe that's kind of when I'll try next week starting it at 10:30. Maybe we can see what happens there. Would you consider joining a prop firm? No. I like it being my own money, and I like knowing that when I make money, it's all my money. I bet a bunch of people blew their account on that stock. Yes, 100%. Can you imagine the people that were buying in here? Just, they're riding the FOMO, and then, ouch. No, I now know what it is. I mean, other ones. I guess I can just Google it myself. Good for beginners to know, though. Yeah, no, I agree, Sue. Tom, what's up, man? Welcome. You here? You want to jump on Discord? People are looking for somebody else to talk. I'm kind of running flat tonight, not going to lie. The patterns are good to know, especially because if you are trading a certain strategy and you know all those patterns, you can sometimes see those patterns and maybe get away from a trade because you know that maybe you're looking to, like, here, like this is kind of what people would consider a bull flag, right? Big move up, starts to form a flag. People call that a bull flag, but guess what? It went down. So this is one of the main reasons I don't really believe in patterns too much, because they don't really work as often as you think. Just like EMAs and stuff like that, people are going to have EMAs work at any given time. If you have the 9, the 20, the 50, the 100, and the 200 on your chart, one of those are going to work, and people are going to claim that they're going to all these EMAs work, and it is what it is, because I mean, again, everybody has their own strategy. That's the beauty of the market, is that everyone can find a way to make money. And that's the beauty of it. I can make money a certain way. You can make money doing the exact opposite. You can make money doing the same thing as me, but in a different way. Like, there's so many different ways to make money, especially like somebody like Tom, who's going to talk to us here in a second, that he makes money a completely different way than I do. I don't like playing low floats. He doesn't necessarily like playing them anymore, but he still does, because he can see valuable setups within those low floats that I apparently am not able to see. And I just don't like low floats because they can be a little bit too manipulative for me. And I'm just not a fan of that. My setup is definitely not a pattern. It's more of price action, if I had to answer that, Vincenzo. One more sec, Tom. I'm just making sure I caught up real quick. Yeah, I see the cup and handle here. Cup, handle, and then the continuation. Just not that was kind of why I did see that when I first pulled it up. It was kind of a sloppy one, but that definitely is a cup and handle with the continuation. All right, I think I'm caught up there. Oh wait, there's a method called Ken Slim that's based on the cup and handle, I think, with famous results. Ken Slim. Oh, I'm gonna bring Tom on, and we'll go from there. I'm gonna Google this. Hello? Can everybody talk one more time, Tom?
Hello, volatility trading. I cannot hear you.
You can't hear me? Hold
on. Timothy?
I'm here. Hold on. I'm here. Hold on. Voice, video. Hello? 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 Nope.
Hello? I can't hear you. Your microphone in Discord might be set up differently. I would go into user settings.
I'm there.
Voice
I'm in
and
user
video
settings.
And your input device.
How about now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Oh, hello. So anybody that doesn't know who this is Tom. He actually started posting again on YouTube. Wow. Learning to day trade. Go check his channel out.
You don't have to check his channel out. It sucks. Don't do that. It's fine.
Go check his channel out. It's pretty good. He has some good stuff on there.
What's up? What are you guys talking about tonight?
Nothing, man. Trying to continue the conversation. Got anything interesting that happened throughout your week?
I rode Tesla to the moon.
Tesla, huh?
I managed to find a good entry and I really reinforced my discipline on letting or at least a piece of my winner run, and just not taking myself out of the trade based on P&L. And that's really hard when you're up a decent amount, but it was a really good lesson for me.
Which day did you trade Tesla?
Tesla's win was on Wednesday, yesterday. I played it a couple days, but the big win was yesterday into today. I had a piece, but yesterday I was buying around 498, and I rode it up to around 510 and then 515, and I had a piece overnight, and that expired worthless. I was trading the options on it.
Gotcha. I figured as much. I know you're not a rich guy just yet.
Dude, I have zero money. That's why I trade options. Obviously.
Stop spending it on girls and motorcycles.
Wow. Well, motorcycles. David says, "Can you turn me up, please?" Instead of just turning me on.
I can't stop doing that. I'm sorry.
Okay.
All right. He should be a little bit louder now. Sorry about that.
Sweet. Yeah, so in terms of something useful to talk about, definitely it was a good lesson in holding on to winners, because if you're up a decent amount, the thought always comes through your head, oh, like, you know, I don't want this to go all the way back down. And it's so easy to convince yourself in the moment, and then if it goes down, you feel like a genius. If it keeps running, you go, why the F didn't I follow my system? Why did I sell there? So it's a really good lesson. Really good lesson there.
What would you say over the course of the last 2 weeks is something that you've improved the most on? Besides what you just mentioned.
Well, that's probably the biggest thing, honestly. Let me think. Stopping out and okay, actually there's a couple of things. One of them would be stopping out of okay, let me back one more time. Two things in the same idea. So now I'll start it again. So if I have a ticker and I trade it and I get stopped out, I'm not very good at reconsidering an entry. Whereas with the group that I've been trading with, I've told them I've really been working on just not flipping away from the stock simply because I was stopped out. Like, you stop out, you take it at another level potentially, and then the trade works. So two things in there is actually stopping out when I'm supposed to, and then the second one, the bigger one, is not forgetting about it just because I already traded it and got stopped out. You can take multiple trades on both sides on the same ticker. So
that's actually something I've been personally trying to work on as well, is I tend to get stopped out of something, and it almost emotionally keeps you from re-entering the trade, even if the setup shows itself, whether it's in the same direction or the opposite direction. It's like once I get out of a ticker, if I lost on it, I tend to not want to trade that ticker again just because I lost on it, which makes no sense.
Exactly. Yeah, no, but it's a very real thing. And I found that another, first world problem is that now that I'm doing better, I'm finding a lot more emotions are surfacing with winners, like in terms of, I should stop here and not take the next setup because I've made some pretty good money, what I would consider good money in like an hour or two's worth of work. And then I don't take good setups because I don't want to give some of it back. And that's not within my system. It's within the right time frame. The setup is there. I have to take it. That is me trading the P&L on the green side. And that's not good. You got to trade your plan, not the P&L.
I actually feel like that's a common problem for all traders, especially newer traders, because how many times do you hear the idea is to let your winners run and cut your losers, quick? But how often is it the exact opposite of that?
Yeah, and I really hate that saying in general, but it is obviously true. I like talking about it specifically, and that's why, like, it was hard for me to really understand what that meant at first. Because, like, sure, you want to make your winners big and your losers small, but what does that mean, and where do you actually struggle when it comes to the exact moment of making that statement true or false. So that comes in the form of like not having a hard stop and then letting your your loser pass a run past what you initially intended on losing on the trade. So that just puts it a little better perspective, I find, for me.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And not everyone's strategy as well is to try to, maybe have a single entry and let a stock just continue to run in favor for them. Some, like myself, I'm looking to possibly add into a stock, and I'm looking more so to hit base hits over and over and over again, where other people are looking, just for the home runs every so often.
And that's fine. You'll have a lower win rate with that, but you know what I'm talking.
Yep. And just for everybody listening, there's people out there that make a ton of money and their win rate is 35-40%, maybe even a little bit lower. But what they're doing is they're going for trades where no matter what, they're making 3-1 on their money or more every single time.
A lot more usually, I would say.
Yeah.
And I actually have a decent respect for them, because that's much harder in the psychology department, because you have to withstand, let's call it 9 losers just to have 1 winner. Yep. And you have to stick to the plan. You have to not get emotional after that 7th loss, 8th loss, 9th loss. You can't increase your risk. You can't move your stop 1 inch for that to work. So huge props to those guys.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because then, when you get to that 8th, 9th loss, like, you start to really doubt the strategy, right?
Yep.
Yeah, even me and Dave were actually talking about this earlier. Just having like 1 or 2 max loss days in a row can really start to make you think, okay, is it the strategy? Is it the market? Is it me? Like what's causing this? And a lot of the times it's just the market didn't go in your favor those 2 days, and you just have to wipe your slate clean
without freaking out.
Yep. So it's definitely a good thing to think about on a daily basis. If you have a strategy that works in the long run, you have to stick to it. You can't just give up because 2 or 3 days you emotionally got hit with a big a max loss.
Yeah, Zishan, I will get to your question in a second, but my last or another comment on that is, like, that's a good example of the actual practical implications of some of these sayings, because it's kind of like the let your winners run and cut your losers, or don't trade with emotion. It's like those don't mean anything to most people unless they can relate to it. And that relates to when you're losing, everyone can relate to the fact of this sucks. I want to size up and get that quick win. That is exactly where that goes wrong. And the don't trade emotions, that's what that means.
I always say people that want that feeling, you can do one of 2 things. You can go to the carnival and play those games, like throw your money at carnival games, or you can literally go play the carnival games at the casino, roulette, like all those. I call them carnival games. I
had a lot of fun playing blackjack last weekend. There's a lot of the night that I probably shouldn't share on a family-friendly stream, but part of it, and probably actually the least fun part of it, was playing blackjack. I love, and I was sitting there like a complete fucking nerd too, like, oh, the probability of this hand when the dealer's at 18, and that, like, it was hilarious.
I mean, you still, if you're gonna sit and play blackjack, you might as well sit there and play it right.
Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah.
I mean, I had $100 and I tripled it, which was sweet. It's not like a lot of money, but it was fun because I was thinking about it like a trader. I haven't been to a live casino in a very long time.
Yeah. But that's kind of what I was getting at, is if you're going to act like, there's no emotion, or how to let your winners run, and exactly how to cut your losers short, like, that's just a saying, because that's if you were living in a perfect world. But like you had said, to really understand it, you have to be able to relate to it, and you have to be put in those situations. So until you do get put in those situations, I mean, you're kind of stuck, right? You're kind of stuck in that, like, well, how do I know what this is supposed to feel like if I've never felt it before?
Yeah, like, what do people mean by those sayings? Yeah,
right,
totally.
Exactly. Yep.
Zishan. So when you trading option? Oh man, my brain is fried. Okay, when you're trading options, do you use a stop loss, and how much are you starting with? I think the more relevant question is, do you use a stop loss? And yes, I do. I either assume that the option can go to zero, and therefore I don't have a stop on it, so I don't care. But more often than not, I do have a stop loss or like a stop on it. So if I'm trading usually between $2 and $4 of an option contract, I have a $1 stop. Usually something like that, and it's a hard stop. I almost always put it in unless my risk is greater for that setup, which I have defined whether I can take more risk on that setup. In terms of how much are you starting with? How much are you starting with? I don't know exactly what you mean by that, but you can grow a small options account much easier than a stock account, because when you have a contract, you actually are in charge of hundreds of shares, depending on how many contracts you have, and you only have to put up a small portion of that. So if you put up $300, typically my wins are between 40% and 400%. So even if you're only talking about a few $100s, that's a pretty decent win. Whereas with a stock, to buy equity, you have to have, so the other day I had, how many contracts at Tesla? 10? That equates to 1,000 shares. So I only had to put up 4,000, I think, or yeah, $3,000. Whereas if you had 1,000 shares of Tesla, you're paying like 500 grand, and not a lot of people, including myself, have that in their account. So that's why I like playing options. That kind of went off the rails a bit, but that's what I think he means by the second part.
Just so everyone knows too, putting up that $4,000, you can easily turn those contracts into zilch just as easily.
Oh yeah, no, the swings go both ways. Totally. Yeah.
So it's like it sounds good from a perspective if somebody's kind of selling the positives of options, but just as volatile, that 40 to 400% to the upside, you can easily go the other way too.
Yeah.
Later, David. Good night, man. I will talk to you at some point over the weekend.
Goodbye, David.
Goodbye, David.
Point is that even if you put up like 100 or two, no, he's not, $200. Even if you lose 50% on that contract, you're only down $100, and maybe that's your risk per trade. Maybe that's how much money you're willing to lose on that trade. So 50% sounds big, but that's fine in that case.
So I have the SPY up on the stream right now.
Oh yeah.
What do you think of the SPY right now? Obviously, we're not giving any kind of financial advice here, but like, what are your overall thoughts on what the SPY is doing right now and the overall market?
Like why it's been doing it, or what it's going to do?
Yeah, just like what do you if you can make a prediction, what do you think is kind of the next step for the SPY? Like over the course of, I want to say like the next 6 months.
I think it's foolish to even, like, this is purely for comedy, because I don't know, and I never think that I know, and I never let a bias affect me, because like literally anything.
Yeah, this literally is pure entertainment purposes, because I am one to tell everyone I do not predict things. I play the price action as it is, and that's that. But if I were to pull up this chart and just look at how extended it is here on the daily, you're just like, what am I looking at right now?
Yeah. Well,
it's insane.
In terms of, I don't know, I've learned, if there's something I've learned about large caps and indexes, there's really no such thing as overextended in terms of the people that are buying it and why they would sell. But to answer your question, I actually thought that before this parabolic phase happened, that we needed like a melt up sort of phase. And this is that phase. Now, how positive the slope has to get before we have a blow off top, I don't know. until we start closing under moving averages, levels, closing under dailies, like important moving averages, like say the 200 on different time frames or whatever the hell, then this could just keep doing its thing. Like there's no, like the Iran news. It's been a while since I've fallen victim to a bias and really gotten that like salivating, I can't be wrong, this is going to be one of my biggest days type of feeling. And I got wrecked the day after the Iran missile news came out. Like the market tanked overnight. ES was down like a shitload. Every stock was down. I had this bias the next morning going into, this is going to be the juiciest short of my life. And I took more risk than I should have. And I got wrecked. I didn't blow up or anything, but I lost much more than I intended. I blew it was like 3 max losses or daily max losses or something. It was way bigger than it should have been before. I was like, okay, I might be wrong. This market does not care.
Yep.
So
that's a valuable lesson for anybody, is the market does not care. I've seen bad news come out and a stock go up, and vice versa. I've seen good news come out and a stock go down. Like people are like, oh, news this, news that. And it's like, guess what? News means absolute jack. The price action always wins.
Yes,
but
sir.
that was the other thing too, is every time we were getting like the Iran news, just like all these like little bits of news that we were getting, it wasn't really like making the market like tank kind of thing, like not like you would think it would. Like if you go back and look at the end of 2019, like that was the last like real pullback that we had, where everyone thought that this thing that the SPY was crashing completely.
Yeah, and I traded a lot, and it's always on one of my monitors exclusively with the ES, which is the futures for the SPY. So I'm constantly watching like kind of the tape and the level 2 here and there, like whenever I glance at it. And it wanted to, but the buyers just came flooding in at these key levels, whether it's on trend lines or moving averages. The SPY is extremely technical. The ES is extremely technical in terms of the way it trades. Like it loves its levels, it loves its moving averages, it loves all of that stuff. So it wanted to fall apart. The tape, as it was dying, like the selling was crazy, but then the buyers just stepped in, and they stepped in quickly. They started soaking shares. They started just buying on the ask. Like they didn't care at all what they paid for it, and it just straight up for like it would go straight up, and then it would gap up, and then consolidate, and then gap up, consolidate. Like it was just insane.
Yeah. I just think it's funny because I think it was all dating all the way back to 2009. I just watched a YouTube video the other day. Like everyone has been saying, like the market's in a bubble, like since the end of 2009, and you can find you can find an article from every year up until this past year saying the same thing over and over again. And yet here we are,
exactly
at the highest.
Exactly, and people get obsessed with that, and it's easy to like I said, I like to think I kind of know what I'm talking about, and I was overwhelmed by the emotion that it was going to be the sickest short of my life. And I didn't even consider the fact that I could be wrong. Because like I took another strike of options, and it all went wrong. And I was like, well, what? But then it was too late. So I get it. It's very easy to think that. Yeah. So you just got to play the setup. Don't go into a day without considering both sides of the trade, and you really have to get wrecked for you like to internalize it, because otherwise you've never felt the emotion, so you don't really know what I'm talking about until you have that kind of day.
Right.
Yeah.
They happen to all of us. We've all been there.
Yes,
I've
sir.
been there
Yeah.
I've been there 3 times in the last year. You don't really know, and that's the hard part, is you don't even really know how to deal with those emotional hits because you haven't really went through them before. So
exactly.
Until you actually go through one. Yep, exactly. Let's catch up on some. What do we got here? Vincenzo says the SPY's going up another 150 points. Could be very right. Sexy going small pullback, then going up to the election time. Then if Trump wins, going to the moon. I mean, aren't we already at the moon? Kind of, sort of. You're like, what's the moon? You go back and look at the 2008 crash. We were down to 69.64 was the low. Or 68.17. Can you imagine that? The SPY was at 68.17.
Yep. 68.17.
That's crazy. Let's see. I did a put options the next day when that happened. I guess the Iran, he's talking about the same thing. So much talk about the recession end of 2019 and everything is booming right now. Yep. It's everyone, again, at the end of every year, like I said, there's an article of people saying, we're in a bubble. We're in a bubble. It's all you hear. We're in a bubble.
That doesn't mean that. I hate that. It doesn't mean anything. People don't understand, and it's okay because I didn't understand for a very long time that the market is mostly run by institutions, bots, algorithms. Almost all of the trading in large caps and indexes are run by this, like massive funds, quant funds that all have their own models, algorithms, all of it. So you have to understand how they work if you want to understand why the market moves the way it does. And bots don't care about charts. They don't think about overextension. They are run by a financially bound company that has to respect risk. That's it. Like, that is it. As long as their risk is in check, they could just keep buying, can go up and up and up, and no risk parameters are being broken. So there's no such thing to an algorithm as overextended. They don't see these charts and go, this looks overextended, right? So that's something I learned.
I just put all the moving averages on my chart. 9, 20, 50, 100, right 200. Yeah. It's crazy to think that I used to have all of these on my chart at all times, and Bollinger Bands and all kinds of other crap too.
You need to hit apply so I can see them show up, and
it's coming.
Be a shit show. Oh yeah.
I used to think this was normal. I'd be looking for all these crossovers. The only problem, and this is what I always tell people that use EMAs and stuff, like if you're using them intraday, I can understand like if you're looking for like bounce type plays, but if you're looking for crosses, it's really hard because by the time it crosses, the whole point of an EMA is you're using past candles. So if you're using the past, that doesn't mean when these two EMAs cross, like say right here, that it's going to mean anything, right? It could be it could be at a key level. It could be at whatever you want it to be. But that price action is going to do whatever it wants, regardless of what those EMAs say. I don't know. The only EMA I've ever found useful is the 200 on the daily. That's like the only one that I've found that gets respected more than any other EMA. So that's the only reason I usually keep it.
That's what I was saying earlier about the EMA for sure. Like, it all just depends on what your setup is, what the time frame is that you're trading, because you can use a lot of EMAs on a lot of different time frames, and as long as you have a defined system around how you're trading them with a proven profitable strategy around it, then it's fine.
So for anybody that doesn't know, if you're just tuning in, this is Tom from Learning the Dirt Trade. That was totally not on purpose. Tom from Learning the Day Trade. Go check his channel out. I'm Tim here at Volatility Trading. We're going to be wrapping things up here. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, get those out right now. I'm gonna actually give this probably like another 5 minutes or so. I feel like
max. I'm down for that. Yeah.
I feel like we kind of exhausted everything that I wanted to talk about today. We even got some bonus content here with Tom. So if you do have any questions, feel free to chime in real quick. If not, don't always forget to like and subscribe. It always helps the channel. Appreciate that. if I don't talk to you at some point throughout the weekend, have a great weekend. Remember, there's no trading on Monday. The market is closed.
Yeah, I heard that. That's bullshit. I took today off, and now Monday is...
Yep, Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Oh, man. I don't care about that because I'm in Canada, but I guess I get the day off.
I don't even think that they had off for... I don't think the market closed for Martin Luther King last year. I don't know. Think that... I don't know either. I don't remember. But, yeah, don't show up Monday expecting to trade. It's not going to happen. So, yeah, we'll leave the floor open here for a little Q&A real quick.
Zishan, don't worry. I see it. I see your question there, my man. Do you swing trade options? Yes, I do. Now, my strategy is much different than it was before, let alone the actual products that I'm trading. But I always, if I have a target of where a stock might reach by the end of the week, I somehow always incorporate having a piece left over of the trade in case it does make it there. So if I'm taking a day trade on a Monday or Tuesday and I have Friday's expiry, then I'll always somehow make sure that I can have a piece that I can hold until Friday if it makes it to that target. But typically I'm out most of my position intraday because I don't like holding stuff that isn't paid for overnight. So even if it went all the way to zero, I would still have a green day or green week. If that's not possible, then I tend not to do the swing overnight, but usually that is possible. Like with Tesla, that's exactly what, like I took today off, but I had something like something from yesterday that if it went to zero, I would only give back 5% of the profits that I made yesterday. And if it worked out, I would have made probably another $300 today or something. It went all the way down to zero today because Tesla didn't make it to my target. And that's fine because I obeyed the risk, I held the piece, and that's just my system. So hope that answers your question.
And if not,
then that's too bad because we're almost out of time, and I explained it pretty in depth. So figure it out.
I was gonna say Google it, but I guess that works too. Trying to think.
Or just bug Tim. Just keep messaging Tim about options.
Everybody knows that I don't trade options, so they're gonna.
No, but that's exactly why they're gonna message you.
I'm gonna refer them to you.
No, just keep asking Tim these questions.
So Tom, Tim, again, I don't know if you heard me mention, but Tom's back on YouTube, so feel free to go leave questions and comments on his channel.
Stop plugging my channel; it's junk. Stop it.
All right, you got 2 minutes. 2 minutes. I'm gonna cut this.
No problem.
Thing off at I think it's Zishan, by the way.
Zishan.
There you go. I think.
But that would be like, no, that's not how that's spelled though. Is it Shan or is it Sean?
Oh,
if you're listening still.
It's
definitely Shan. It would be spelled differently if it was Sean. Like not
I feel bad.
Not with an H.
Is it Ali or Ali?
I don't know. I'm not getting that far.
Look at that. I'm getting you some subs.
Wow. Does that mean I have to donate to you again?
I mean, only if you're feeling generous.
I'm not, really.
Well, then don't. I don't want anybody to ever feel forced to donate to me.
I was under duress with the last one. I felt that I had to talk you off the ledge after that day, so I donated to you, and then I made you feel better.
It did. I mean, I don't think I was on a ledge that day. I remember that day. I didn't even hit my max loss that day.
Or it was after. It was a couple days after, but that's in the past. It's all good.
I do remember that though.
Hyped as fuck in his vids. Am I?
It's because he's high as fuck.
I'm not. No, I don't.
I know.
Smoke drugs.
Tom is one of them guys that is just full of too much.
Unfortunately, insane. Naturally, yeah. Zishan. So I would assume it's Sean if he said the second time. But
because I never said Shan.
Am I hyped, dude? When I watch my videos, I'm like, I still think how do people watch this monotonous, boring garbage? The last thing I think is that I'm hyped. In my earlier videos, for sure.
Well, you have an energetic voice.
I don't even know what that means, man.
Most people that have energetic voices, they don't even realize it because they're just used to it. But like just the way you talk, like the way you get, the way you get your arms moving, you're just like, so this is what I was looking at today on the Spy, and this is what I was looking at on Tesla, and I killed that shit. So here's what I did. I don't know. That's how you.
Yeah, but talk. I don't even do that. I don't do that. I do use my hands when I talk, but I don't go like ape anymore. I used to. But like I just wear these silly hats. I play with whatever's on my desk, and I just talk to the camera, and people somehow watch it. So.
Hey, it must be doing something right. Did Tim say learning to derp trade is a joke? That should.
Did you say that? I like that.
That's what came out of my mouth, but that's not what I meant. I don't even know why it came out. I was trying to say day trade, obviously, but somehow it came out. It wasn't derp. I didn't add the P. It was just der, and then I caught myself.
Der trade. Oh.
Well, I didn't. Yeah, but I don't even know how that started to come out of my mouth. I didn't even mean I don't even know where the came from instead of day. Like it makes no sense. I don't know. But it is a pretty good idea. Learning to derp trade. Sue, you better go get it now.
Oh,
I'm gonna take it.
I don't care. You can have it.
I didn't say I don't. Yeah, maybe I do want it. Who knows? So Zishan, who said it right? That's the question.
Second time, it's definitely no, because I said, is it Shan or Sean? And I think that's what he means by the second time. Tom.
Told you.
Tim. Wow, he capitalized Tim and
damn right he did.
Tom. That is like the ultimate disrespect right there. Like, see, that's where I stand on the YouTube totem pole. No one gives a crap about me or my garbage channel. They don't even capitalize my name. They capitalize you.
Oh, that's great. Do I have to donate to you?
Yeah, so get me off this ledge.
What's that song? Please step, or how's it go? Please step out from that ledge, my friend.
Oh, not. La la la.
God, I haven't listened to that song in a while. What is that song though? I can't play it on here because I'll get copyrighted. What is it?
Can I play something loud and then you get copyrighted and you make no money?
As long as I catch you within like the first 5 minutes and mute.
Totally kidding. Just relax.
Not 5 minutes, like 5 seconds. I would understand. That's it. I wish you would step out from that ledge, my friend. I would understand. I am like the worst singer ever.
A, stop singing. B, I have no clue what you're talking about.
Oh, Zishan making the comeback. It's too late, man. It's too late, man. Derp trade sounds dope. All right. Well, we're going to get out of here, guys. Tom, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, totally busy Friday. You know, I just happened to be home, but like totally have so much stuff to do on a Friday night. So I'm going to get right back to that, obviously.
Well, I appreciate you taking the valuable time out of your day to stop by our amazing Friday night live stream. You know, one day this live stream is going to have over 100 viewers at any given time. And I'm still going to... I hope
you don't forget about me by then.
I'm still going to bring you on here because you're going to be one of the reasons that we got there. Damn straight.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
That's what it's all about, man. I do not forget about my roots. I'm a family guy, so...
Dad.
That's something I'm important. But all right, guys, we'll get out of here. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great weekend. Don't show up Monday looking to trade. And if you have any questions or comments, check me out in the Discord. I'll link that down in the chat real quick as I'm getting off of here. And
hit that like button.
Yeah, donate. Smash it. Helps the algo. All of it. Yeah, donate all of it. That's what he said. All right, guys.
Tim's gonna upload a video every single day. Goodbye.
Nope. I am gonna upload on Monday though. Peace.